Welcome back to Brawlmaster Unscripted. This is the segment where I answer an assortment of questions, be they thoughtful or stupid.
Yes, I'm still alive.
So, I haven't been getting a ton of new questions recently, and understandably so. I've been pretty quiet for a while. I kind of dropped off of the face of the earth for a while, and I don't really blame people for not really sending questions in if they thought I wasn't going to see them. And because of this, I really don't have a ton of new material to work with, but I do like what I have here for today. I'm probably going to answer more than one question from each person this time around, just to kind of finish off what I have. In a sense, I'm still going to have some questions left over, but I want to get through a lot of more of it now. And I do have some questions that will probably come from people that have already been featured here before. You know, even as early as the previous installment, there are going to be people who they ask questions that were featured in the previous installment, and I'm answering some more of their questions. So I am kind of running out of questions, so you can always send in more anytime. There's always going to be the chance that they'll be featured in the next installment. So yeah, don't feel like I'm not doing it anymore. You can always send more questions in. But yeah, as of this moment, I don't have a whole lot to work with, so I'm just continuing to answer some more questions from the ones that people have sent me already. So, I mean, it's not going to be all recycled question lists from people. It's not going to be all the same people. There are a couple new ones, but yeah, I've got to work with what I have, so not much else I can do about that. But yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, here are 4 questions from Wrestling's Real. Number 1, are you a fan of any sports? Not really. I'm not much of a sports guy. I never really was, and I'm not anymore anyways. In my younger years, I did play a little baseball and then a little soccer. I did karate at one point, and I played some golf later on, but none of it ever really stuck with me as I got older. Interests change as you get older, you know? I just sort of kind of grew up and just realized that's not really what I wanted to do, so sports never really clicked with me the way they do with most guys. I'm just weird like that, I guess. I mean, I do still like to play casually with friends, and I still watch sports with my family every once in a while, but I would by no means say that I am like a passionate fan of any of it. I'm not passionate by any means, so I have a friend that's way more passionate about sports than I am, so yeah. Number 2, what's your opinion on DBZ? Meh, it's okay. I mean, the fights are a little lengthy and over the top for my tastes, but I wouldn't say it's a horrible anime by any means. And now the DBZ fans are going to tear me to shreds because I don't think it's the greatest thing ever since sliced bread, but what are you going to do? Number 3, liberal or conservative? I think I was really more conservative when I was younger, but as I got older, I'm finding myself to be a little more open to new ideas and changes, so I think I'm currently leaning more towards liberal, but I'm still pretty young. I mean, I'm still growing and changing, so I can't guarantee that I'll stay this way forever. I could go back to being more conservative as I continue to get older, or I could just stay liberal forever. I don't have the definite answer yet. And number 4, what is the key to happiness in your opinion? You know, there's this quote I know of. I don't know who said it, but if you do know who said it, then feel free to comment it, but I just love it so much, and I believe it goes something like this. Do what makes you happy, be with who makes you smile, laugh as much as you breathe, and love as long as you live. I absolutely love that saying, and I think it's so true. You just have to learn to be comfortable in your own skin. You just have to embrace what you love. Don't be ashamed of who you are, of what you like, of what other people will think of you. You know, you just have to embrace love, laughter, and happiness, and all the people who bring all of that into your life. I think that's just my key to happiness. That's what I look for when I try to find my happiness. And I think it can be hard to remember to look for that stuff sometimes, and to think about it, and to be appreciative of the stuff and the good blessings you have in your life. And I think happiness is just something that's easier to reach as you get older. You know, you shouldn't feel like you need to be happy all the time, but you should still be kind of working towards it. You know, I'm still kind of working towards my happiness. I feel like I'm closer towards it now than I was when I was younger, but I'm still not quite there yet, and maybe I'll get there as I get older, but you know, life is a journey, and I'm still on mine, so yeah, that's just how I interpret it. You're going to get a different answer depending on who you ask, but that's just what I think the key to happiness is. Okay, here's a question from Throwback Jr. I know you don't care much for MLP anymore, but if a video game was to be made by a competent development team, would you be interested? If so, what kind of game do you think it should be? Sure, why not? I mean, I like good video games. I mean, yeah, it's MLP and that's not really my thing anymore, but still, I like good video games, and if it's made by a competent developer, I'd be willing to give it a try. As for the genre, this is kind of weird. I don't know why, but even back when I was a brony, I kind of wanted to see a good MLP game as an RPG. Again, I don't know why. I guess I just thought that with all the mythology and magic behind the show, that an RPG would be kind of interesting to see. But knowing the community, I'm sure there's probably already an RPG out there with MLP, so, and I'm sure it's probably made by the brony fandom, so I wouldn't be surprised if it exists. But yeah, I mean, MLP or not, if it's a good game and if I could play it somehow without like spending a ton of money, then sure, I definitely would be interested. Okay, here are 4 questions from Pendulum Wing. Number 1. Will the ending of Project Kanto have someone falling out of a window? Well, the ending of the whole series? I don't really know. I haven't thought that far ahead yet, but I might be able to squeeze something like that in for laughs somewhere down the road, but we'll see. I mean, if you want something like that right now, though, then I think you should read Chapter 7. It's the most recent one I posted on my DeviantArt, and I think you might find something you like in that one. Oh, and while you're there, read the other chapters too. I'm desperate for feedback, people. Number 2. Have you ever played Fire Emblem Awakening? If so, what do you think of it? I haven't gotten around to playing it yet. I want to. It's on my list of games to play. I have played the demo for Awakening, and I liked it. And I enjoy playing as Lucina in Smash Brothers, so it's a pretty safe bet that I will play it eventually. But I just don't have the time right now. I'm far too busy with school and my part-time job. And I've barely made a dent in the Metroid Prime trilogy in what little time I have to play video games these days. And I'd really want to finish those games first, and then I've got Kid Icarus Uprising sitting on my shelf since Christmas, and I haven't even opened it yet, so yeah, I'm a little swamped right now, but I do want to play Awakening. Maybe this summer I'll get around to finishing some of these games, and then I can play Awakening maybe later, if not during the summer, then later during the year, but yeah, I definitely am interested in playing it. Number 3. Have you ever wanted to co-write a story with someone or something along those lines? Sure, that sounds like fun. I'd love to do something like that if someone is interested, but maybe not right this moment since I'm a little busy with my own story right now, but yeah, I mean, if someone wants to do that kind of thing with me, I'd love to write some kind of collab or something, just to kind of, you know, combine our different writing styles and to just try to make something that's more interesting. That sounds like fun. I'd love to do something like that. Number 4. What is your favorite type of Subway sandwich? Mine is Meatball Sub with Italian bread. That's a good one. Mine is probably oven roasted chicken breast with honey oat. Yum. Now I'm hungry. Thanks a lot, Pendy. Here's a question from Doomman899. What do you think about the Ebola-chan meme? I don't really care for memes. I don't really keep up with them. I don't know what the Ebola-chan meme is, and that may or may not be for the best. Okay, here are 3 questions from Crypto. Number 1. Do you think there might be a Danny Phantom spin-off, kind of like how Avatar has Legend of Korra? I doubt it. I mean, I would love that, but I doubt it would ever happen. Danny Phantom ended, and it seems like now Butch Hartman really only cares about milking Fairly Odd Parents. But then again, I don't really know if Danny Phantom could even really have a spin-off. I mean, with Avatar, it kind of worked with the whole Avatar cycle thing, but there's really no sort of pattern like that with Danny Phantom. I mean, I would be all for it since I love that show, but I wouldn't hold my breath for any sort of continuation that isn't borderline fanfiction in concept. And I am satisfied with how the show ended, so if nothing else ever came from that show, I think I'll live. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to the idea of it. I just don't think it's going to happen. Number 2. Do you ever get sick and tired of people mentioning or making a joke about the Ebola virus? Ugh, again with this Ebola thing. I don't keep up with this stuff. I don't know what the meme is, and I just get tired of people quoting memes about anything, period. Memes are like 2005 or something. Hipster glasses. Period. End of story. I'm not talking about memes anymore. Moving on. Number 3. Have you ever heard or ever had someone lure you into the shady pyramid scheme called Vemma? Nope. And if it sounds shady, I probably want no part of it. Okay, next is a question from Rinnick Bob Brawl 9931. If there was a Smash Bros. Anime, do you think it would be a good idea to put in Nintendo anime characters like Ash, Serena, Clemont, and Bonnie from Pokemon X and Y, and Tiff and Tuff from Kirby Right Back At Ya? That is actually a pretty cool idea. I like the sound of that. You know, just combining the existing animes based off of Nintendo franchises into one big crossover. That sounds like something that could be really cool if done by the right people. I think Kirby could be easy to adapt as long as they got the voices from the show, which would be kind of funny seeing how different King Dedede is in Smash Bros. From his anime counterpart. But I think Kirby could definitely work without much hassle, but I don't really know about the Pokemon anime. I mean, the Pokemon anime has always just kind of existed in its own separate little universe from the games. It has its own characters and continuity and everything. And just the thought of it suddenly coming into the same universe as the games, that's just a little jarring to me. I can't picture Ash and all the other trainer characters suddenly in the video game world. I mean, I know Ash actually did appear in a Pokemon game on the N64. I think it was that Puzzle League game, but that was kind of a spin-off, and it was, I don't know. I think there's a reason Ash hasn't made like a serious appearance in the actual games up until now. I don't really know, but I think like just for this sort of crossover thing, it would have to confirm that Pikachu is in Smash Brothers is Ash's Pikachu, and it would have to explain why he's fighting without Ash giving commands. And I just think that with the Pokemon anime, they would have to go through all these weird inconsistencies and jump through all these hoops, and it would just be a big, huge mess. I mean, I would love to see it. I just don't think it can happen with the way the Pokemon anime is structured. I just think there would be a lot of risks that need to be taken. But even for there to be like a Smash Brothers anime, I think what would work even better would be if they had other franchises like Mario, Zelda, and Metroid, if they all had good animated adaptations first. Like, if they all had their own little mini animated series, like, it doesn't even have to be like 100 episodes. It could be like maybe 20 episodes or something, or just like a short series of each series first, and then Smash Brothers could be one giant big Avengers crossover type thing, you know? Like Nintendo's answer to Avengers. I mean, I know Mario, Zelda, Sonic, and Mega Man have all had their cartoons, but do we really want to pull those versions of the characters into something serious like this? I don't think we do. And then there's Captain N. How would he fit into all of this somehow? It would just... You see where I'm going with this? There would be a lot of things you would have to take into consideration, and I think the idea is cool in concept, but it's just a little too ambitious for its own good, you know? It sounds like a fan fiction that someone could probably write. Someone probably already has written. But in order for it to actually like happen, to be animated like professionally and everything, I think there's just too many risks that would need to be taken, and if they would need to make sure that they got the right people for the job, and I could just easily see something going wrong that just messes up everything. But yeah, that is actually a really cool idea. I really love it. I just don't know how well that would work. Okay, here are 6 questions from Bradley Burke. Number 1, what are your thoughts on the new Nintendo 3DS? I'm not really interested. Not at the moment anyways. I mean, I like the changes they've made, but I don't feel like they've really done enough to really warrant buying a whole new system from the perspective of someone who owns a 3DS system already. I mean, I like the built-in amiibo functionality, and I like the faster processing speed and everything, and I like the little second analog stick, but all that stuff really on its own is not enough to convince me that this is a worthwhile purchase for the money that they're charging for it. You know, if my regular 3DS dies, knock on wood, I'd probably consider investing in the new 3DS, especially the XL. And on a side note, I don't really care that much that it's the XL version. I probably would have gotten it anyways, even if they were offering the regular sized 3DS the regular sized new 3DS here. But that's personally just me. And otherwise, I think I'm just gonna pass for right now on the new 3DS. I really just don't care for it that much. And unlike a lot of people, I really don't care that they're being sold without the charging adapters or whatever. I mean, I have one for my regular 3DS, so I would probably just continue to use that. It really is not an issue for me. Number 2. What are your top 5 characters that you want for Smash 4 DLC? Newcomers only. I really don't see us getting any more DLC characters after Mewtwo, but I've been wrong before, so I guess I would say I would want Paper Mario, King K. Rool, Crystal, Girahim, and oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, all the big important characters and even the less important characters are already in Smash Brothers right now, so we're kind of running out of people to put in Smash at this point. I guess the 5th person would be Rayman. I mean, he was leaked after all. Yeah, and that lasted for like a day. That was fun though. Heck, these don't even have to be Smash 4 DLC characters. They could be Smash 5 newcomers at this point. But I think, honestly, I'd rather just have some cut veterans come back before we even get some new characters. That's just how I feel, at least. I feel like we lost too many good characters in the transition to Smash 4 to even think about new characters. We got a ton of new characters already, so yeah. Number 3. Have you seen any Studio... I never know how to pronounce it. Is it Ghibli films? However you pronounce it. I know the studio, I just don't know how to say that name. And if so, which ones? I have seen My Neighbor Totoro, like a million years ago I watched it. And I have seen like the first half hour of Spirited Away, but that's about it. I mean, I didn't see the whole movie because I watched Spirited Away when I was a little kid, and that kind of freaked me out. The whole movie was really weird, and I just couldn't get into it, so I stopped watching it. But I do want to watch it now. Eventually, I'll get around to sitting down and watching the whole thing. I think I probably will like it now that I'm older. And I do want to watch more of these films. I hear very, very endless good things about these films. I've heard of a lot of them, like Kiki's Delivery Service, but I just have not seen any of them other than My Neighbor Totoro, which that was a cute little film, too. I liked that one. Okay, question number 4. Will you get a PS4 around Kingdom Hearts 3's release? If I haven't already bought one by then, hell yes. But I would like to finish the other games in the collections first. You know, I still have not beaten Kingdom Hearts 1, and then I've still got like Rechain of Memories, and then I gotta watch those cutscenes for 360, whatever the hell it is, over 2 days. And then there's the new collection that came out with Birth by Sleep and Kingdom Hearts 2. And I just gotta finish all these games first before I even think about playing Kingdom Hearts 3. It just wouldn't feel right otherwise. Okay, number 5. Do you think the upcoming Star Fox game will be a sequel or a reboot? I really have no basis for this guess. This is all just purely speculation, but I think it's going to be a reboot. I think Star Fox has just had so much trouble over the years. I think it's just been staggered so much. It's had so much trouble and it suffered that I think Nintendo would probably rather just start over with the franchise than try to salvage anything from the previous games. And that's not something I would be opposed to. I think it would be for the best if Star Fox just got a brand new start for like a new generation. But maybe just like a new retelling of the story. It doesn't have to change everything. It could just be like a very similar plot to the previous games, just retold in a different way. But if it actually is a sequel, probably to one of Command's 50 million endings, I wouldn't care either. I mean, I just want to play a new Star Fox already. I really don't care what the story is going to be like at this point. That's like a secondary thing to worry about. I just want to play the new game, and I just want it to be good. But, you know, you probably don't have to ask me this question because we're probably going to be getting your answer at E3 this year. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, and number 6. What are your thoughts on Palutena's guidance and the Orbital Gate Assault Conversations? They're okay. I mean, the writing is kind of hit or miss with some of the characters. I mean, I do like the conversations that Palutena and Pit have. I felt like with some characters they kind of went off topic a little too much, but that could just be their style of humor. I mean, I have not played Uprising yet, so I really don't feel like I have much room to say anything about this. But in comparison, I think I just prefer Snake's Codex from Brawl. I don't know, I just liked Snake's responses to everything a little bit more. He was just this big serious character in this game of all these whimsical Nintendo characters that are all kid-friendly and everything. And I just found that contrast to be really funny. Oh, rest in peace, Snake. Okay, here's a question from Rogers Films Unlimited. What are your thoughts on the passive-aggressive turf war between fans of Fullmetal Alchemist 2003 and Brotherhood? The turf war itself is stupid, but then again, all fan wars like this are stupid. And it's because people are being stupid and making a big deal out of nothing when they could just respect each other's differences and leave it at that. But no, that would make sense, and we can't have any of that. I mean, I've watched both adaptations, and there are things I like in each of them. You know, I felt that the 2003 series had a deeper, more interesting story, and even though the ending was a little bit wonky, but it's for that reason I liked the story that much that I prefer this version over Brotherhood. But then again, I did like Brotherhood's ending more, and Brotherhood had better action and better comedy in my opinion. So I feel like the two of them kind of cancel each other out for me. You know, neither is perfect nor terrible. I just respect whichever version anyone prefers. I prefer the 2003 version, but I still like Brotherhood, and I respect anyone who prefers Brotherhood over 2003. You know, this doesn't have to be a contest or a debate or what have you. I don't see why it's that much harder for anyone else to do the same. Why it's so hard to respect other people's opinions. Now, I mean, if they're being a jerk about it, if they're being a dick about it, then yeah, by all means, you can just not talk to them, whatever. Just save yourself the trouble. But we don't have to get along. We just have to respect each other's difference of opinions. It's really not that hard. Well, apparently it is on the internet. I don't know. But this is just my take on all of this, and it's not going to change anything. You know, people are always going to be stupid. But if you haven't checked out Fullmetal Alchemist, watch either one, honestly. 2003 or Brotherhood, both of them are good in their own rights, and I'm sure if you watch both of them, you will find at least one of them that you like. I think just because Fullmetal Alchemist in general is a very good series. It's like one of the best animes that you can possibly watch right now. It is an absolute classic. Okay, and finally we have two questions from Car King 114. Or actually, not finally, I'm sorry. Okay, just two questions from Car King 114. Number 1. Besides Mewtwo and Squirtle, is there a cut character you want back? Showtime. Number 2. If you could drive on any Mario Kart track, what would it be and why? I would want to drive on the N64 Rainbow Road. Especially if it's the Mario Kart 8 version. I mean, the visuals are just absolutely beautiful. I would have to have the music playing and just... Oh, God, I have a lot of memories and a lot of sentimental value for this track. And it's just... Oh, God, I love playing on it, especially on Mario Kart 8. It's like one of my absolute favorites. But then again, there's the falling off the sides of the track and plummeting to my Doom part, and that would probably not be fun. So, it would be fun to race on it, but it would be incredibly dangerous. Okay, here's a question from Kerbizzle. Yeah, I goofed up this. That was not the end of the questions. I still have a couple more. So here's a question from Kerbizzle. Given Nintendo's stance when asked about a new F-Zero installment, what would you say is the earliest we'll see a new title in the franchise? Based on their statements? Well, never. But I think that if this new Star Fox game does well and it sells really well, I think that might show Nintendo that there is a little more demand for their more dormant franchises. And maybe, this is a stretch, but maybe that might help them be a little more considerate of doing a new F-Zero game. You know, if Star Fox does well, that might help us take another step towards getting a new F-Zero game. Or, screw that, just give us a Captain Falcon bounty hunting game. I mean, come on, that would be cool, right? Okay. Now we are at the end. Here are the two final questions from Kamen Rider 64 or Kamen Rider 64. I'm sorry if I messed that up, but that's me. What are you going to do? Okay. Number 1. Have you played Marvel vs. Capcom 3? If so, who are your favorite characters, and how did you feel about Mega Man not being in it? I did play Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I think it was the Ultimate version. I don't even remember. I rented it on GameFly. And I played it for about 15 minutes, and I gave up after that because I couldn't get into it. But I really only had a basic grasp on Spider-Man, Iron Man, and I think Beautiful Joe was in it, or is it the Tatsunoko versus Capcom game I'm thinking of? He could have been in both. I really don't remember. I think he was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, it was those 3 characters. They were the only ones I had any sort of grasp on, but that's not really saying much. And then about Mega Man, that's just Capcom being Capcom. You know, it didn't bother me too much because I honestly think Mega Man fits a lot better in Smash Bros. Anyways. And while we're on that subject, number 2. Do you think Nintendo should buy the rights to the Mega Man franchise? Yes, 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 1,001 times yes. Nintendo, look at him. Look at that smile. Don't you see how happy he is to be here? To be back with all of his old friends again, his old family? He wants to come home. Please, please bring him home. Keiji Inafune is gone. Capcom doesn't care about Mega Man anymore. But you do. Sakurai has given Mega Man more love and respect in one crossover game than the Blue Bomber has received from his own company in years. Mega Man is a big star. He has a lot of star power and weight behind his name. He has a legacy. Can you imagine how excited people would be if Mega Man could not only become a mainstay in Smash Bros., but also start getting new games on Nintendo systems? I mean, Mega Man for Wii U, Mega Man for Nintendo 3DS, hell, revive Mega Man Legends 3 and put it on 3DS. I mean, what use is this adorably awesome Mega Man amiibo going to get outside of Smash Wii U and 3DS? Answer me that. What else are you going to use it for? Mega Man needs a home, and his home, his proper home, is with Nintendo. It's with you, Nintendo. So it's time. Please, bring this child back where he belongs. Bring him back under your roof. You know it's the right thing to do. The fans are telling you it's the right thing to do. And now the ball is in your court. Please. We are tired of watching Mega Man suffer. I wouldn't even call myself fully a Mega Man fan yet. I'm interested in Mega Man, but I can't call myself a fan yet because I haven't even really played any of his games. But even I feel sorry for him. I feel like he deserves better than what he's getting. Please. You can do this for him. You can save him. I don't know how much it would cost, but please, do the entire world a favor. Do this character, this beloved character, a favor. And bring him home. It's what he wants, it's what the fan wants, and it's what you want. I know it is. Okay, and that's all the time I have for this time, so thanks for watching, guys. This has been Brawlmaster 012 signing off.